Week 8 recap of the Thursday night football game. I'm just going to be covering this here by myself yet again. My dad's out of town. He'll be out of town up until Monday, I believe. So expect a lot of me here, guys. My lights for some reason aren't working right now, so sorry for there not being too much lighting. But we'll just dive right on into it. The Vikings versus the Rams. The Rams came out on top here, 30-20 win. Honestly, I did pick the Vikings, but I totally could have saw them losing this game. I'm a Vikings fan, and I know when they're in a good spot like this that they will end up disappointing, and they did exactly that yesterday. Their defense could not play any defensive football at all. They just looked horrendous all game. They couldn't stop the Rams at all. I get it, Puka and Cooper Cup are back, but still, like you got to find a way of stopping these guys. And then Kyren has on 116 yards. Thomas had 2 touchdowns. Like you guys just weren't doing anything on defense. You really couldn't get pressure on Stafford throughout the majority of it. And then, yeah, our offense on the other side, like, yes, they missed the face mask at the end of the game, but Darnold would not have been in that situation if he didn't underthrow Addison a play or two prior. Darnold, when he gets behind, is just not the guy. I'm going to say it now. He is not the guy at all. I really wish they would have went for someone else. Um, I knew this was going to be this, like, I knew this is what was going to happen here at some point in the year. I honestly thought it was going to happen right away, where he'd get down and he wouldn't be able to close out a game. He's not going to be able to close out a game all year, whether you guys believe that or not. It's the truth. He is not like that guy at quarterback. I really wish they would have signed someone else. He's looked better than his prior years, but like this last month, just in general, aside from the bye week, obviously he's throwing a ton of interceptions. Yes, he threw 2 touchdowns yesterday, but like something needs to change. Like you're throwing for 2 touchdowns and losing games, you can't rely on a bailout penalty at the end of the game. You need to hit Addison when he's open like that. Like I just don't understand it. The Vikings really couldn't get the run game going at all yesterday either. Aaron Jones only had 58 yards. He was the only player to run the ball outside of Darnold, which is nuts to me. No Ty Chandler, no Cam Akers. There's no one else on the field there running the ball. So for me, that makes me a little nervous because Aaron Jones is getting old and he's very injury prone. Um, I really wish the Vikings would go out and make a move at running back here towards the trade deadline. I think there are a decent amount of running backs that they could try to target. But yeah, and then on top of it, Justin Jefferson, 115 yards, great game there from Jefferson, but he needs some help. Someone needs to step up in this offense and help him. Without Hawkinson in, someone needs to do something. Addison's been irrelevant. Naylor's been irrelevant. Like someone needs to step up, or the Vikings need to go out and sign someone because they just look horrendous. And on both sides of the ball, it's just kind of sad to see. Like, yeah, they come out hot in the first 2 drives almost every single game, but the last 2 games it hasn't worked out. We started to play teams that are good, and don't get me wrong, the Rams were only 2-5 going into this game, but they're a good football team. They were just plagued with injuries. Now that they have Puka back and Cooper Cup back, they're going to be good. As long as they don't trade, Stafford or Cup after this game. I think this offense is going to be really flipping good. Um, Kyren Williams is a beast. Him and Derrick Henry are the only 2 players so far this year to have a touchdown in every single game, which is nuts. You'll love to see it though. Those guys are beasts there on the side of the Rams. Puka coming back off an injury and having 106 yards. I actually want to check here to see if he played a decent amount of snaps because it looked like he was just being limited on his snaps, but he was getting a lot of targets there from Stafford. So I'm just going to go in here real quick and take a look to see if he played a good amount of snaps. And he was only out there 57% of the time yesterday, and he had that big of an impact. That is nuts. For you fantasy owners that had him in your leagues, he put up, I think it was like 17 points there on 57% of the snaps. That's insane. This team's good. I really liked watching the Rams. Big fan of them right now. I think they're going to be a really good team, and I do end up seeing them in the playoffs in my playoff picture. I see the Vikings not even making the playoffs, guys. If they don't make any moves, they are not making the playoffs. That is just plain and simple. That is what's going to happen. Whether you believe that or not, well, that's up to you. But the reality is they're not going to make the playoffs if they can't figure out their defense, if they can't get their offense going. Or they simply just don't make moves because they need to make moves. They are not as good as they look. They've gotten lucky in the games that they've won. So Um, it is what it is. But that's gonna wrap things on up. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content here on the channel, and we'll see you next time.